Hello, Oracles. How is it going today? Well, the market was not too bad considering we have CPI data coming out tomorrow. So going up a little bit green today, up a little bit over 1%. I'll bring up a chart here in a moment. Let's take a quick look, see at what we got. Today we're going to go over just a bunch of little things, some news about advertising that we've been discussing. Gaps. I know I had seen some stuff over on Twitter discussing gaps and what was out there, and and looking at the gaps. Sorry, gotta give me some water. So looking at the gaps that we've got, some people for some reason think that we only have a gap down to 144. Not sure why that's the thought. That is not the case. So we do have gaps down to 146, 133, 122, and 114. Now, for those of you who are okay with it, we do have gaps below 100. Whether we hit those or not, I think is all going to be dependent upon how bad of a recession we get into. So I still do think that we will be getting into a recession in 2024. It's just a matter of we're probably going to see a lot of these numbers. Like we're starting to see effects of it. There's a lot of people losing their jobs right now. We're seeing some early signs of us heading in that direction. So if we continue going that way, we may end up getting to that recession point, and that's probably when the Fed's going to pivot. In talking with you guys, great points bringing up the fact that the current administration is probably not going to want us to be in a recession come election time, because they're going to say, hey, if we're in a recession, who's going to vote for the president who's put us into a recession? So what may end up happening is we may see kind of anything they can do to push that off until after the election. So may not even happen till the end of 2024, and then we get a pivot. And then at that point, when they pivot, is because we've already hit that recession point. So lots to happen between now and then. So who knows what's going to actually transpire. But if we do get to that point, I think that's going to be when we maybe pull down and fill these gaps. So again, just like we talked about before, those gaps that we had seen filled over the past year in 2022, those came from 2020, some of them. So they were almost 2 years old. We may run into that similar situation going into 2024, 2025. Gaps that were created in 2023 may get filled in 2025. Just a potential, something I'm keeping in the back of my mind. How is it going, Lang? Hello, Hanif. Raymond, what is going on, my friend? Hello, Melissa. I love having you guys all on here. It's awesome. Lang, I don't know how to do that on a live stream. I'm going to work on it. If I cannot figure it out tonight, Lang, I will figure it out for the next one. Next one should be Friday. I honestly don't know how to do that on here. I'm checking right now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do a quick search here. I may have to do it through YouTube. Give me a hot second, folks. I'm working on it. You guys have questions. I try to do my best for you. So let me see what I can do for you. Nope, that's the wrong place. Let's try this. YouTube. No. All right. If I am in. I may be learning something new with you guys today. Let's see here. Nope, that's the wrong place. If I can't figure it out in a minute, I will just come back. But yeah, so CPI tomorrow. I'll take a look at the numbers again. Again, we're looking at still moving in the right direction. That's obviously the important part, is moving in the right direction. So the bigger question is going to be, what are we actually going to see? And actually, let me bring the numbers back up here for you guys so we could take a look. Investing. CPI. Do that. Da-da-da-da. All right. All these pop-ups and junk. Blech. All right, so we are looking at a number tomorrow of 5.2% is the forecast for tomorrow. Last month, of course, we came in at 6%. And now I always take these numbers now with a grain of salt because as we saw last year, there were a lot of adjustments that came in February for last year. So, who knows how accurate this number actually is going to be, but still a 5.2 is a nice drop down. And again, that's going to put us right around the level where we are for interest rates. So seeing the number coming in tomorrow might be what ends up giving us that indication as to whether the Fed's going to be pausing or whether they're going to go up 25 basis points. As of right now, 25 basis point hike and pause are the only two real options that the market has priced in. After we got the jobs report last week, the percent chance of a 25 basis point hike did go up. So there's a chance that we're most likely going to be seeing a 25 basis point hike. And if we do, most likely that will be the last hike. So May 3rd and 4th are going to be the dates that we have the FOMC meeting. Previously, I had mentioned that we were going to have two CPI reports that were coming out before that. I was incorrect. So we are only going to have this CPI tomorrow, PPI on Thursday, and then we will have the PCE report at the end of the month. And then we're going to have the FOMC meeting on May 3rd and 4th. We won't have another CPI reading until after that. What's going on, Kenneth? Hanif. Good news from Ford. I hope Oakville comes first. It will take 4 years for VW to build a St. Thomas plant. Yeah. Let me go back we'll start off here. Have you heard about the Ford rebuilding their Oakville into an EV plant? So now remember too, when it comes to this, and all, kudos to Ford for doing this. I think it's awesome that they're making these efforts. Just remember when, with Fremont and Tesla, because they're retrofitting an old factory, it's not going to be as efficient as a brand new factory. So it's still going to do well. And I'm sure Ford's going to be able to produce vehicles out of there, but it's just not going to be the same as a brand new factory. So just make sure you take that in mind. Yeah, like 5.2% or lower would be great. And as far as I'm concerned, we've talked about it. And I remember when I had Nicholas on here, he had mentioned it himself. Every single month we've seen it coming down. So even if it's not coming down as fast as the forecast is, it's still moving down. That's the important part. And then the month over month is important as well. And we are forecast to be at a 0.3% month over month. And Lang, I'm going to give one more effort here at trying to figure out how to do. Let's see. Maybe I could do it on this side. Ooh, options. I've got options. Oh, I might be able to make this happen, Lang. Let's see. Doesn't allow me to do it. I'm going to see if I can do it beforehand, Lang. Because when I go to try to do the settings right now, it doesn't allow me because we're in the live stream. I'm going to try to do it and set up beforehand and see if I can make that happen. Yeah, Melissa, I need a good enough number not to sell off. But the other thing that I look at too is the manipulators out there in the market will be like, all right, well, they're going to forecast a 5.2%, but they've got secret numbers that they're thinking about. And if we came in at, a 5.4%, they're like, all right, but we already had that priced in, so it's okay. And we're not going to sell off. Or maybe they gave us a bear fake or a bull fake and they move one way or the other. So hard. I was talking to Melissa earlier today too, just discussing how, she's a lot like my dad. They follow the stock market every single day, do some swing trading here and there. Of course, nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of different ways to play the market. And it's so hard in a market like this right now. If you play it right, this is the kind of market where swing traders can do very well. But you also have the opportunity to lose a lot also. Because that's kind of like trying to time the market. And when you have market manipulators out there who know that people are trying to do this, they're going to intentionally manipulate it in a manner where they're going to make the money themselves. So as far as the market manipulators go, if they can take 75 to 80% of people's money, they win. They win huge. And the other 20%, if they win also, who cares? That's only 20%. They don't care about that. So if you happen to be on the winning side of the things, kudos to you and congratulations, because it's not easy and not everyone does it. All right, what else do we got here? So advertising, I know I've been seeing a lot about that. I know we talked about it the other day a little bit as well for Tesla, and even Sawyer Merritt had looked up, and mentioned about he was talking to Gary Black and mentioned how, even last year Ford and Jim Farley came out and said, "Hey, they're not going to do a Super Bowl ad. If they get caught doing any sort of Super Bowl ad or, legacy type, advertising like they have been, they know they're not doing the right thing. They're going in the wrong direction. They don't want to be doing that. They know that's not the future." And so that was my whole point as well, is it's nothing about Tesla not advertising, but advertising traditionally on mainstream media like that, is it really worth what they paid for? Think about the fact that, when they did those ads, Tesla's search went up higher than everyone else's because everybody else was advertising, but Tesla didn't. So I'm not opposed to Tesla advertising, but I think advertising in a social media presence is much more effective than mainstream media. Thinking about how we're going to the future, and in the future, um, who is going to be out there? Thinking about like my son's generation, the generations below, you go to, 30-year-olds and younger than that. Are they really watching mainstream media? Like, who really actually pays for cable? Maybe they have kids, so maybe they have like the Disney Channel, but now we've got Disney Plus. It's either going to be streaming media or it's going to be social media. Those are the two places people are spending their time with their faces in front of the screen. So to go and do it on, cable TV makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, in my opinion. So that's just my point, and my take about it. And you guys can share in the comments how you feel about it as well. But again, I'm not opposed to the advertising, but I think if they're going to do it, they need to advertise to the future audience. Granted, as we said before, right now with the prices of vehicles, the people who can afford it are maybe ones who are still watching mainstream media. But I know for a fact many of them are still on social media as well. My dad, he's over 70 and he's on Facebook at least. So you can at least put ads on there and he would be able to see something like that. So little things like that I think would help. And then as we move up, and then as Tesla comes out with, that $25,000 vehicle, then we're starting to hit the bigger masses and the people of the younger generations to get that. And I think if any of you are old enough to remember this, and I know some of you are because you're about my age, when you go back to, the 90s, what was the vehicle that really took off back then? The VW Jetta. That Jetta came out and like every teenage girl had one. It was ridiculous how many people had one. That was like the car that you bought for your kid because that was the safest vehicle on the road. That was one of the reasons that they were purchased so much for children who were just getting their license, because it was a super safe vehicle. Well, guess what? We're going to have a $25,000 Tesla on the road that is going to be the safest vehicle out there. So this is going to end up being that next generation of the Jetta that we saw back then. You've got the Jetta, you've got the Civic. This $25,000 Tesla is going to be the EV version of those, and it's going to take off, and it's going to be the best-selling vehicle out there. I have no doubt. Melissa, I've thought about that, having my dad on, and he may actually be watching right now. He's maybe even texting me as we're as I'm doing this. I just can't see his text because my phone is my camera. But yeah, I would love to have him on. I'll have to ask him and see if he's willing to come on here and give some of his insights. Magazines and billboards are cheap. Yeah, and totally ineffective for the most part. I mean, billboards maybe. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just not one who reads magazines anymore. I used to be, but everything to me is on social media. I'm not going to go out and buy a magazine when I can get it here. Now, granted, magazines, maybe you're in a doctor's office and you read a magazine, but if you're in a doctor's office, are you reading a magazine or you're playing on your phone? So that's just my take on it. That's what I do. But maybe there's others out there who don't. Um, but yeah, one of the things I remember I was watching, I had the privilege of seeing Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you guys don't know who he is, a great motivational speaker. And he was discussing about advertising. Now, this man, when I saw him, was probably 7 or 8 years ago. And he was discussing at the time Snapchat was, starting to become more popular. And he was discussing how when you go out there and you look at advertising and your bang for your buck, Snapchat was one of the best options out there because it was an up and coming place that people wanted to go to, and so advertising on there was super cheap. And even right now, it's not as much anymore, but at the time going on to like the business pages for Facebook, those were also very inexpensive to advertise on. So you search around for areas like that and you find an up and coming type of social media platform, that could definitely be a place that you would want to go and advertise on. Yeah, Melissa, true. If it isn't on Netflix, Hulu, or Disney, I don't see it. My son hasn't watched cable since he was like 10. When I got divorced, I haven't had cable TV since then. And that was, oh man, 13 years ago. So, I've done without, I actually had no computer for 7 years. So, a lot of people are just they can live on their phone, especially in these times where, economy is tough, prices of everything are going up, people are trying to cut expenses as much as they can. What are the absolute essentials that people need? Typically, it's a phone, and you're on your phone because it's going to be, your obviously way to communicate with people, texting and phone. You're going to be on there to get directions for things. All your apps are on there. You can use it as a computer. So if people are going to be on their phone the majority of the time to live their lives, how can they advertise on somebody's phone in the most effective way? Yeah, Raymond. Cheaper are the way Tesla push out on social media, like the so-called Cybertruck crash. Yeah, that was just a super trolling video. I loved that. But little things like that, it gets you out there. Thinking about when videos go viral. How many people go out there and see them? Millions. Like I can't remember who put it up. There was like 17.3 million views or something on that video. And you say that they don't advertise, like that's a lot of views. That's a lot of people seeing that. Ooh, Hanif. Grand Forks in British Columbia to get version 4 supercharger station that has magic dock stations. That would be sweet. That would be interesting. The magic dock is awesome. That's obviously for other vehicles that are not Teslas. But to see those coming around even more is great. PowerPoint. This is awesome. My kids actually like watching commercials. It's like a novelty to them. Also, they know commercials I can't skip really tick me off. Man, it goes back to the youth. Like, yeah, I'm sure you guys all remember too. Like when you were a kid and that commercial came on, it's like, all right, I got to go grab a snack and go to the bathroom before the is done. I got to get back to watching my show so I don't miss any of it. And it was like a challenge to make it all happen before it came back on. That was awesome. It reminds me, that reminds me too of Demolition Man, where they were listening to like all the little different commercials and the ads and the music from them. Oh yeah, Melissa, Celica. I wanted a Celica too. The Mitsubishi Eclipse. I wanted the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. I just saw one. I just saw one the other day. Man, that was my dream car, and I was so mad because my best friend's mom bought one, and she sold it, and I would have bought it from you. I didn't know you were selling it, and it was like the last model year that they had it. So mad, so mad. I wanted one. Tom, when will the Tesla 2 come out? The 25K Tesla. As of right now, I know that Tesla is not calling it a compact car, but based upon Master Plan Part 3, we will call it the compact car because it was in the compact category. And right now, that is what is going to be most likely not confirmed. This is just based upon all the information we've been given. Most likely, it is going to be that next generation vehicle that is coming out of Mexico. So Mexico, based upon the plan right now, what Tom Chu had given us is they're going to be breaking ground in June. They're going to have construction done in 9 months. That's the plan. So whether it's going to happen or not, we don't know, but that is the plan. 9 months. So by February of next year, they will start production and probably be at volume production by the end of 2024 or beginning of 2025. So I would say we'll probably see the first ones rolling off the line Q2 of 2024 is my guess right now. Uh, oh yeah, Melissa, no computer. I had one after my divorce, and then my computer died. and I was just really tight on money. And I'm like, you know what? Can I get by without a computer? And yeah, I did it for 7 years. And honestly only bought a computer just because of this channel. Because I was like, I needed to provide better content than just doing the videos and editing it on iMovie. So I wanted to have better stuff to provide for you guys. And I bought the computer, and here we are. Andre, now you all know the SPY and stocks have just priced in CPI coming in at expectations or lower. Brace yourselves. Yeah. And that's the question I always ask myself. And the same reason why playing earnings is so hard. And Melissa was awesome. She did what I used to do too. She's got a whole calendar written out with all the different earnings and who's got earnings on what day. That's fantastic. I love that. And the whole thing about earnings is the same as the CPI is they know what the expectations are. They've already priced in what they want to price in. The problem is we don't know if they've priced in an expectation of a miss or an expectation of a beat. So, if we get one way or the other, what has been priced in? And like, there's all sorts of different charts that will tell you which way one or the other, but how accurate are they really? I actually thought about something on my way home today, which was diving in to really get into a stock and know what you're buying, I think is very crucial and important. This is when we always talk about doing your due diligence to make sure that the company that you're investing in is the company you want to be investing in and you feel comfortable doing that. So I always encourage people to do that. But when it comes to the stock market itself and finding all the nuances, and I know I go into the charts and things like that, but I don't dive super deep into it like some people. And I try to come down to what is the return on my investment? If I spent another 3 or 4 hours a day really diving into the charts to come up with, all the different specific numbers and, all the different data points that I can find on there, is it really going to give me a better return on my investment or not? Now, I don't know. I haven't gone into this, but for somebody who's sitting on the outside, kind of playing the long game, especially for Tesla, it's, do I really need to know specific production numbers down to the number of vehicles? No. I mean, if I'm going to be in it long, what do I need to know? Are they making progress in the direction that they are going? And are they making progress at least close to what their goals are? It's really all you need to know. If as long as they're moving in that direction, as long as the fundamentals haven't changed, cool. We're good to go. No problems. So, and of course, some people enjoy that. Like some people enjoy going in and really diving into the numbers. That's their thing. I do that to a certain point, but I'm very limited on time. And that's where I kind of wrestle with my own self and say, if I had more time, could I do more to be able to maybe make more in the market or not? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't have the time to figure that out. Maybe when I do have the time, I'll try it and I'll test it to let you guys know. But just makes me wonder, is really diving into the charts that much more important to come up with a better return on your investment? Sunchi, I don't know. Fast and Furious 19 Dominic goes electric. I don't know if you saw my video that I put out. So for you guys who follow me on Twitter or Facebook and Instagram, I do daily dad jokes from the toilet. And my joke for today, ironically, was, I heard that Fast and Furious, they're coming out with a 10th movie and they're calling it Fast 10, your seatbelts. Oh man. Man, that was awesome. Sorry for you guys who don't like corny jokes, but I'm a dad and I live with dad jokes. That is awesome. It's my goal to make my kid roll his eyes. And I got to tell you, pretty proud of my son because he comes up with some zingers himself. I've been training him well. Raymond, this is a good one too. So much product placements in movie and TV shows. No possibility of quick bathroom breaks. True. And that's very important. I had mentioned it before. Think about a lot of rap videos that you see out there. People watch those and you see Teslas in them. That product placement is very important. A lot of the older Marvel movies, Audi had a big funding that went into that. So if you see, usually it's the first 5 minutes of a movie is when they're going to have it. You'd usually see like Tony Stark, Iron Man driving an Audi of some sort early on in the movie because they paid to have that vehicle in the movie. So very similar. Now, maybe Tesla can go that route, but I think a lot of people are doing it. Now, to Elon's point, if you come out with a compelling product that people just naturally want to share with each other, that's the free advertising that you want. So all of these rappers that are going out there, Tesla didn't pay any of them to put this vehicle in there. It was a status symbol for them to have a Tesla in their video. They wanted to have that in there. So that's how good Tesla is Tesla is such a good vehicle, people will pay to have them in there versus Tesla paying them to do it. That's the difference between a product that's selling itself versus one that somebody has to go out there and convince you to buy. Melissa, what do we think the next Tesla biggest news is going to be? Well, earnings next week obviously is going to be big. As far as anything outside of earnings, honestly, I think it's going to be another factory. I think the next vehicle factory is going to be the next big news that we get. And I think we're going to hear about that again. It's most likely going to be Asia Pacific region. We this year I think is going to be the year of the factory. My goodness, I mean, we've already heard about two mega factories for mega packs. We've heard about Mexico, so I think we're going to hear about one more vehicle factory, and then I don't know what else from there. I think at that point we'll probably seeing as they're going to try to get the next gen vehicle up and ramped in 2024, we'll probably end up hearing about it by the end of the year. So we'll probably have Cybertruck release, get that excitement out there for the Cybertruck. And once that starts hitting the ground there, they'll probably hear the announcement for the compact car. Now, again, in talking with Farzad about it, you don't want to get into a point where you're going to cannibalize your other vehicles. So people are waiting to get these vehicles. We obviously see that they're playing with pricing here to make sure, demand is taking all the vehicles that they can sell. But if they're already, having to work prices down for that, if they come out with a $25,000 car, you're going to have that Model 3 and Model Y probably take a beating when it comes to sales because people are going to put off their deliveries. So seeing as they're trying to push for Model Y to become the best-selling vehicle in 2023, we probably won't hear about this vehicle until December. We may not even hear about it until January. If they're planning on having production start in February, it may be a Q1 earnings or a Q4 earnings call next year, which would be end of January. And they'll say, here's the vehicle, this is what it's going to be, or it'll be like the day after, because I know they don't really like to announce it on earnings calls, but maybe they'll have an own announcement for it within a week after the earnings call for Q4, or maybe before, whatever. It'll be January of next year, and they'll say, hey, this is the vehicle we got coming out. This is it. These are the specs on it. Awesome. At that point, we've already finished 2023. The Model Y has already gone through. Cybertruck is already starting to hit its ramp phase itself. And now they can say, cool, now coming in March, we're going to have the compact car coming out. Awesome. And then people can start putting their orders in there, and they've already anticipated this. They've already built up supplies that they need to be able to push this vehicle out as quickly as possible, because people are going to be pushing off that 3 and the Y delivery, especially if it ends up being the mini Model Y that they have kind of rumored to hear coming out of China. That might end up being the situation where the Model Y might actually be what gets cannibalized because it's the similar type of vehicle that people want, but it's just smaller and less expensive. Ooh, multicam is, this is good. On day 5 of a 2,200-mile road trip in my 2014 Model S. So far, so good. The nav system is horrible, but charging has been easy. Only had to wait 10 minutes one time. Superchargers not crowded yet. That's great to hear. And obviously, superchargers coming up more and more is going to be more important as well. Just out of curiosity, where are you going on this 2,200-mile road trip? That's awesome. I'm like living this right now. Just talking to my friends right now. I'm looking at, I've got the adventure bug. The adventure bug is biting me hard. So I've been really looking at buying the van. I want to get a cyber van. I do. I've got my Model Y still ready. Right now my delivery date is April 28th. So end of this month is when my delivery date is supposed to be. It's April 28th to April 28th to June 2nd. So within the next month is when my delivery date is. But I kind of want to go the van route, and Tesla doesn't have one yet. So it's kind of disappointing. So I want to buy a Tesla, but buying the van, I can save a lot of money, and then I can put more money aside to invest, and then I can buy the cyber van later and just trade this one in. So I've got some options coming up. And again, I don't need a car. That was the big thing, is I don't need a vehicle right now. If I do, I'll just take the Tesla, obviously, and I could always trade that in for, I don't know. so many options I got coming up. But yeah, let me know where you're going on this trip. That's awesome. Tom, do you have any predictions or estimates for a stock price of Tesla in 2025? I do, actually. Let's see if I can share that with you guys. Give me a moment here. I'll bring it up. I haven't actually updated it in a couple of weeks because I was waiting for earnings to come out. So I will try and get this up for you right now and share what I have so far. And now the hard part here when it comes to my predictions, as much as some people argue it, the macro plays such a massive role in the next year or two, I think, when it comes to all stock prices, not just Tesla. It's going to play a huge role in that. So I'm trying to play this off of macro as well as Tesla specific. So this is going to fluctuate as well. So if you guys can see this, it looks like 2025, I have $637 as a share price. Now, I'll give you my reasoning behind this. So 2023, I actually bumped it up from 235. I must not have updated these numbers entirely, but 2023, I think if we pause, we may actually rally. We may go over 300 this year. Gary Black right now has a 12-month price target of $350. That's a street high. So he's at 350. So I'm at 2024, the end of 2024, I'm at 356. So I would be below that. But I think because of the macro environment, it'll hold us down. Then going into 2025, I think we're going to start to rally out of this. And I think that's when we see it. So end of 2025, I think we've started to see that rally coming out. So we may see a green year in 2023, maybe a red year in 2024, and then a big green year in 2025 when we finally get that signal that we are coming back into a bull market. And that's when I think it's going to take off. So again, and then that's when energy too, we're going to have the 2 megapack factories up and ramped at that point. And then 2026 and on is just going to be skyrocket to the moon. Not financial advice, and these will change over time. I do update them regularly. All of my members and patrons get to see these on a weekly basis when I do update them. So right now, that's where I'm at. But those are my predictions, Tom. Hopefully that's helpful for you. So Melissa, sometimes I wonder how much fundamentals matter when the markets are so manipulated. Easiest way to remember this. Near term, the stock market is based upon manipulation and whatever's going on in the near term, emotions. Long term, it is always fundamentals. Fundamentals will always win out in the long term. So when you're playing it like you are, I know you're swinging some day to day in some areas and some stocks. That there is all based upon daily fluctuations for whatever news, manipulation, macro charts, whatever it is. That's one of the reasons I look at the charts to find buying opportunities in the near term. Long-term fundamentals will always win out. So that's why when you find a company like a Tesla that you feel is going to be very strong long-term, do not worry about the daily fluctuations because the fundamentals over time will win out. Lang, any Australian besides me on this channel? I wonder, please respond. Yeah, any Australians? I love Australia. I know there's a few of you on here from Australia, actually. So I don't know who else is on from there. Where in Australia, Lang? Model 3 equals 200 Tesla shares. That's a great way of putting it. Ooh, here we go. Star Trek Picard Season 2 had a Model X run over Captain Picard. Did it really? I haven't watched it. I am a Star Trek fan. I'm more of a Star Wars fan than Star Trek fan, but I love Picard. I loved Next Generation. So I did not know that. That's actually hilarious. Not hilarious that Picard got run over, but Picard got run over by a Model X. Yay. Raymond, can you replace Powell face in your background with the product placement of Tesla bot unless Powell will pay you a handsome fee? In the moment, I cannot. It requires I have to go over to my other computer to change it. It's not tied into the one I'm currently using. So I do apologize. I will not be able to change Powell's ugly mug off of the screen right now. But in the next one, I will definitely get Optimus up there, unless something more pertinent comes for Friday's live stream. Let me see. Get your bone. As I stated in my before live, yep. Thank you for messaging over there in the chat. I just was notified. YouTube notif. Yeah, these suck. Suck. I do have a life, but want to know when live starts. Ideally, a few minutes before. Now, a half hour behind. Yeah, sorry. I know. Like YouTube notifications aren't always the best. I don't know if you guys are on other platforms. I try to put it over on Twitter as well. What I'll try to I don't know if there's any ways to do it. I'll try to see if there's any tricks. If you guys happen to know any tricks to be able to put a notification out there, like the notifications that YouTube sends out, sometimes you get them right away, other times it's delayed. So I apologize for that. Maybe set an alarm. So for you guys who know, I'm going to be as consistent as I possibly can be. So every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, I will be on live. So if you guys want to set an alarm for yourself, if that helps, that may be beneficial. Val looks like someone's walking on his front yard. I mean, basically is. He's like, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. All right, you guys want Powell off? All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go change it. I'll fix this. All right, there we go. Is that better? We'll get some more exciting stuff up there. Yeah. Jerry didn't want to see it either. All right. You guys voted. You didn't want to see Powell. There we go. We got Optimus now. Let's see. Honey, Brian from My Tesla Weekend stated in one of his videos that he shows us some GigaPress parts for Cybertruck. Yeah, yeah. So Brian's awesome. I love Brian. Actually, I haven't been in touch with him in the last couple of weeks, so I've got to reach out to him again to have him back on here. I think Tuesday nights he has his own live stream, so maybe I'll try to get him on Friday. But yeah, there's a lot of different Giga Cybertruck parts, and he really dials into a lot of these things to find the details. And he was noticing that all the casting pieces and the scraps that they're tossing are different shapes, or there's different patterns coming out. So they're definitely doing a lot of testing and running through some models for some stuff. So obviously it is in the works. So anybody who's still out there like Tesla Q questioning, saying that Cybertruck's not real, it's never coming, they're working on it. And Brian is showing it, improving it with all of the pictures that he's got. Oh man, Powell looks like he's about to say he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those darn kids. Oh my god, you guys are awesome. Ooh, yeah, LA to Colorado Springs round trip. I love it. That's awesome. Have a great time. I want to get back out to the Rockies. I was out there once, way back when I was married, and the only time I ever snowboarded was for a week at was it Mount Rose, I think, out there in Utah. It was the only time I ever went out to the Rockies, but I want to go out there and go hiking. That would be awesome. Yes, Melissa, taking a video inside my Tesla. That's my plan. So when I get my van, it will be set up so I can do videos in there. I have lots of secret plans that I've got set up for that when that actually happens. And then when I get my cyber van, obviously I will just continue that as well. If I do happen to choose to get my Model Y before then, I'll be doing lots of videos, and on this channel here, I'll do a lot of probably shorts of different things I find. Like for me, it's new to me. So some people who already own Teslas are like, oh yeah, I already knew that. But it's almost like the advertising, like, hey, cool, this feature is awesome. Like this is great. So sort of doing my own little version of advertising for Tesla also. Now let's see. Oh, Lang, this is good. This will be good for everybody. Turn your alarm for Oracle investing if YouTube notices you're late, not within 2 minutes. Okay, that's a good. And I didn't know this. That's a good trick. Nav system is convinced the 25 in Colorado is called the 85. Ooh, that's not good. And it can't do roundabouts. Maps may work better. Yeah, I usually use Apple Maps. I have the MCU2 upgrade. Okay, so you got the gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, roundabouts. I know right before version 11 came out, my buddy took me in his to go around a roundabout, and the first time going through did not do well. It was very confused. Then we looped around and tried it a second time, and it was much better. Now, the first time there was a car coming one direction, so it wasn't sure if it should stop or go. And then we kind of came around, and a car was coming on, and it stopped to let the car on, but we had the right of way. So it got very confused. But again, that was before version 11. So I have no doubt it's gotten better since then. But I know roundabouts were one of the challenges that FSD has been facing. Melissa, so Tim, you said your dad swing trades. Did he teach you about stocks when you were a teenager, or did you teach him? Was it something he enjoyed and you learned from him? So as it went, man, this goes back, gosh, years and years ago. Now, probably almost 20 years ago now. I was on E Trade, and my dad was just starting to dabble in the market a little bit, just learning himself. And we were getting to some of the penny stocks, and he found Cybernaut before. This is before the iPhone came out, and told me about that. And so I made some good money on it, but I thought it was going to take off even more. So I ended up buying back in, and then it just tanked and ended up going under because the big boys know how to play, and the little boys get swallowed up. So that's what ended up happening. Fast forward to about 3, 4, 5 years ago, I started getting back into it. I got Robinhood. I started putting a little money in. And then my dad was teaching me his strategies as what he has learned over the years for his swing trading strategies. And I've gone over it before, and maybe I'll do another video on it, or maybe I can have him on here as well, and he can explain what he does. And I guess none of it's financial advice, but just the way he does his swing trading and the way he looks at different things. And he's constantly learning himself. He's a perpetual learner, always learning the different things about the market. And he looks at different stocks and how he swings and makes his profits. And sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, but he's usually net positive, and he's winning and making the money that way. And sure, sometimes maybe if he held it longer, he could have made more money. Maybe sometimes if he had bought sooner. So he's somewhere in the middle, but he's always making a profit on these things collectively at the end of the year. So something he enjoys doing. Basically, he's retired. He basically does it himself just for, his job. That's what he does for his job. That and taking care of his grandson, my nephew. So that's what he does. And he enjoys doing that. So he teaches me. So I teach him things about from my aspect because I'm more long term because I'm younger. So I'm focusing on some things long term, but I have some positions that I do swing. So I take some of the swing knowledge that he gives me, and then I teach him what I'm doing for long term stuff. But again, he's like, long term doesn't really matter to him as much. So different. We just play two different ways, but we always share the information back and forth, and it's great because I can give him information about Tesla that I learned on Twitter. So funny thing is sometimes like he watches mainstream media. So he'll be on there, he'll watch CNBC, and he'll say, "Hey, this is what I heard about Tesla." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I heard that 2 days ago over on Twitter." So it really shows the lag that you go from Twitter to mainstream media in some cases. Some days it's, right away within an hour or two. Some days it's the next day. But sometimes it could take a while for it to get all the way over there onto mainstream media. So if you're over on Twitter or, watching YouTube videos from, anybody who's out there, lots of great channels that have this great information. And we a lot of times get that information well ahead of everyone else. Raymond, Tim, your price projection presumably do not include FSD full rollout and robotaxi because the timing is unpredictable. Yes, that is true. So I do in my valuation model, I bump up FSD a little bit around 2025, 2026 because regulation is going to be the hard part. I think Tesla is going to have saying it's solved isn't really an accurate term, but having it to be the point where it is safer than human drivers, I think will happen by 2025. It's just a matter of will we get the regulatory approval to allow it on the roads. Now, again, Elon going over to China to talk to the prime minister, perhaps they're going to actually have regulatory approval in China before the US. Totally possible. That could be a game changer as well. So we'll wait and see how that all plays out. But energy, I have bumped up my numbers significantly, and I need to bump them up even more now, knowing that they have the Megapack factory coming in China. So my numbers will go up even more based upon energy alone, not even including vehicles or FSD. Uh, Raymond, I went to Sydney for high school decades ago. The only kangaroo I saw was in the zoo. When I was there, we went to Tasmania. No, it was Melbourne. When we were in Melbourne, there were one of the tours that we went on. I think it was Melbourne or Sydney, one of the two. One of the tours we went on took us to just like a kangaroo grove. So there were all wild kangaroos there. It was awesome. Like here in the U.S. in New England, where I'm at, it would be similar to going to a place where you just see like deer hanging out. It was like kangaroos instead of deer. Very, very similar aspect. Get your bone. This is good. Check out Steve Henke interviews for a good summation of what an on what of economy. If you don't think Powell is doing a good job, good one is John Stewart's interview with him to cover both sides. That's good, and I know I always love seeing both sides of things. I think it's very important to understand both sides because both sides factor in. Like these people who are all super Tesla bulls, I respect them. I think that's awesome. But if you don't have an open mind to see the other side of the coin, and Gary Black sees that. That's why Gary Black is one of my favorites to follow because he is a Tesla bull, but he gets so much backlash for coming out and giving criticism about Tesla for legitimate stuff, and he's just giving his opinion on it. But it's legitimate things to think about of, hey, these are potential issues and situations we need to recognize that. So I think it's very important to get both sides. Western Australia, that's right. I remember we talked about the other day, Lang. Western Australia. That was the side I have not gotten to. Over in Perth, right? Is that where you said you were? Um, this is Dead of Fella, and I'm a Tom Jew. I agree. Get your bone. Thank you so much. And as I had mentioned last time, um, every one of the super thanks that I get from you guys, every single super chat that I get from you guys, at the end of the month, I will show you guys. And again, every member and patron gets to see all of this, but I'll share it with you guys on here. Every dollar I'm going to invest that into Tesla stock. So when I get paid by Google, I will go on there and I'll show you guys because I can break it all down and I'll show you how much it was and it'll go right into buying shares directly. Yes, success. Yes, much better than Powell. Oh my god, so many comments. I'm so far behind. You guys talked about this so long ago. Oh man. Yeah, Sunchi, it's all about customer education. More Tesla content and videos will do better for all of us. I totally agree. And that's why I like the videos that Tesla's putting out. It's more fact based. This is what our vehicle does. It's not a sales pitch of any sort. It's just, this is the vehicle. This is what it's capable of doing. That's it. Doesn't even encourage you to buy. It doesn't even say, hey, you should buy this, or hey, this is the price of the vehicle. It's just, hey, this is what it can do. Cool. And that's it. And I think that's awesome. Lang. Oh, I enjoyed many years in the USA. Lots wishing I could travel there again. Virginia area. Virginia is beautiful. I love Virginia. Philly, New York. Yep, I'm in Connecticut, so very familiar with New York. California. California is awesome. Grand Canyon. Wow, you went to a lot of the great places. Awesome. Get your bone. I drive a 1-ton Ram pickup. May have as much as 16,000 pounds behind me. Can't go EV. Really? Why? Why not? I mean, as far as I know, the Cybertruck will be able to pull it. But again, I don't know because I know when it comes to like the DV or the GVWR, I'm not sure what what the weight rating is going to be at. I know with the semi, they gave it a little bit more wiggle room on weight just because of the vehicle itself. So I don't know. I'll have to see. What's going on, Karav? Oh yeah, you're right, Hanif. Twitter. I thought Elon changed it to X Corp. That is very true. In an SEC filing, they have changed the name from Twitter to X Corp, which it is now beginning. We have talked about this before. going over to X Corp is going to happen. Whether we end up seeing Elon put all of his companies under one giant umbrella of X Corp, similar to like how Google is Alphabet, Facebook is now Meta with Instagram on there as well. So I don't know if that's something that Elon is going to do in the future. I think that may happen. And I think it may end up starting with Twitter. As we can see now, it's X Corp already. So I think we are on the way to that. Get your bonus. See above comments for context in the foreseeable future that is affordable, meaning that I own. I got you. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. I got you. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be some one, and I'm really curious as to what the price tag of the Cybertruck is going to be. I really do think the dual motor is going to be under 80,000, and we will get the EV tax credit for it. We'll just have to wait and see on that. Can you please help Tesla get down to $100 a share again? Man, I know. And like I get so much pushback from some people, and some of you guys are awesome, and some of you guys fully understand it and you view it the same way I do. And I get that there's some people who don't view it that way and they just want to see it run, and they have the shares that they want. They're tired of seeing these buying the dip because they don't want to buy anymore. I understand both aspects of it. But from my aspect, I want to buy more. I'm still a little guy. I still want to add a lot more. And if it comes down, I can buy a lot more. So that's why I keep talking about these gaps. The gaps all the way down to 114. Let's go fill it. I heard that CC was going to be shown at the groundbreaking for Mexico. Anybody else? Ooh, really? And that would be in June. So that's possible. I wonder. Get your phone fighting that then. Thank you. That is more Tesla shares. More Tesla shares coming in. You guys, get your phone. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Tesla EVs need to more price cuts for me. Yes, in Perth Hills. Yes, awesome. Yeah. What are the prices over in Australia right now? Have you seen any price cuts coming there? Last I knew, the demand was still high. Like, what's the lead time for a Tesla over in Australia right now? That I don't know. Obviously, here in the US, in most areas, if you want one right away, there are some in inventory, so you just go get one right now. No questions asked. Is that the case over in Australia? Elon's X Corp has merged with Twitter. X Corp is registered Nevada company, more friendly to Elon than Connecticut. Connecticut's not friendly to anybody, really. X will be like China, WeChat, everything. Yeah, the everything app. Yeah, and I know that's what Elon was aiming for, is to make Twitter like the everything app. And again, I have no doubt when he gets it to where he wants it to be, which is probably going to be 2025, we will see that being the main app when you get into your Tesla. You're just going to see this X or whatever the symbol is going to be right there on your screen. You get in there and that's going to be it. And you're going to be able to run everything right through your Tesla. Yeah, I'm not sure what the percentage is that I get, but either way, it's all appreciated. That's the other reason why I started up a Patreon too. Patreon doesn't take as much, but it gets so confusing. I try to keep it simple and keep it all in one place, like X Corp, the everything app, everything all in one place. It's not easy to juggle with so many different platforms that I'm on. What are the new EV tax credits that take effect now? Do all the Teslas still qualify? Might have missed this. Or is that why they lowered again? No, they just lowered the prices again just because they came out with basically a basic Model Y at $49,000. So they did that and came down with the prices, and it's really just coming down to just moving the inventory. That's it. So I think what's happening is they're seeing the costs of the materials coming down. So because they're seeing those coming down, they want to bring down the prices anyway. And so they have the ability to bring them down. By doing this, they continue to put pressure on, all the competition. Because if Tesla's prices are coming down, competition has to do the same. Competition isn't even making profits on their vehicles. So it's hard for them to come down. So Tesla's just literally taking all market share from all these vehicles. And Tesla still needs to compete with ICE. That's truly what they're going after, is competing with ICE vehicles. So they have to come down on the prices. EV tax credits, as far as I know, have not changed. Those are all still the same as they were before. So Model 3s are all under 55,000, Model Ys are all under 80,000. And as we talked about before, and Karav made a great point, the Model S, even though it's coming down to that point at 80,000, that does not qualify for the EV tax credit because it would be considered a sedan. That would have to be under 55,000. Now, if the Model X ended up coming under 80,000, that would qualify. This is a great question, Melissa. X Corp is weird. It's not tweeting then. What will it be? I'm Xing? I X'd you? I don't know. Yeah, Twitter still exists in the brand. Go to the site. Yeah, it's still there. They've got a lot of things they have to change because they have to do all the legalities behind it. But I don't know if you guys saw, but they were trying to get California to change it so they could change it to Titter, and California said no, they weren't able to change the sign, so they just whited out the W on the sign, so now it just says Titter. Total Elon. I mean, and the other day, I don't know if you guys saw, if you were over on Twitter, he changed his name to Harry Balls. Like, I mean, like, talk about a guy who just does not give an F. He just goes out there and, love him or hate him, he's genuinely just doesn't care. He's going to do what he wants. Uh, da, 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 da. I get you, another stock split. Yeah, we'll have a stock split coming for sure. Stock split, I think, Kenneth, get down to 62.50. If we get down that low, we will end up filling that gap at 57. That still right now, as far as worst case scenario goes for me, that $57 gap will be worst case scenario. And again, not to spread FUD, that would be, hey, we hit a massive recession, like something that is like borderline depression type stuff going on that would pull us down to that level. So massive macro issues that would pull us down to $57 if that ends up happening. Raymond's kid really named X. S. It's X. X is his son's name. And man, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's not just a straight, like, not, it's like Xavier or something like that. Tom, how can we invest just in the energy portion of Tesla? As of right now, we cannot. They would have to break out and do a separate, similar to Starlink breaking away from SpaceX and IPOing on its own. Tesla Energy would have to break away and IPO on its own to be able to invest in just the energy portion of Tesla. As of right now, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So, unfortunately, if you wanted to invest just in the energy side of the business, you cannot do it. Get your bone. My reason to donating simply to show I'm not a total troll. No, I don't. I didn't think you were. Appreciate you, and somehow hope I reap the dividends, some sort of heaven. I truly appreciate that, and I do feel strongly in the universe and karma, and doing good deeds for others will in itself turn itself back onto you. And I've always been like that. I was raised Catholic, but I don't really practice much anymore. But a lot of the beliefs I think hold strong still through a lot of religions and a lot of different mentalities that people have out there is, just be a good human. And in being a good human to other people and not expecting anything in return will eventually get you something in return. And in most cases, you're going to get in return something even greater than you could have even imagined. Just go out there and be a good human. That's more than financial advice. That is life advice. Just be a good human. We're all out there just being humans, and just be good. The new Megapack factory in China is going to make billions for Tesla. They are. Sawyer had broken down the numbers between there and Lathrop. They have the potential of pulling in $50 billion in revenue in 2025. That is ridiculous. That's still short of obviously where EVs are, but that and then being able to grow exponentially on top of it, because think about the amount of EVs are going to be on the road and the grid that's going to be needed out there for that in a sustainable energy manner. Tesla supplying the entire grid for that. Think about how much money Apple makes and the Apple ecosystem. It's all just Apple type stuff with the Apple Store and all the different products. And then you've got the App Store and things like that. Well, if you have Teslas, which are like a giant smartphone on wheels, and the ecosystem is the energy that runs all of those vehicles, plus then you put in the software and you get all the apps and everything to go along with it, that there in itself, that ecosystem is just going to dwarf what Apple has. So if you think Apple is an awesome company and if you think that you wish you had invested in Apple back in 2008 and 2009, think about where Tesla is going to be in 15 years from now. That's my mentality. And obviously, again, I have to say it, not financial advice, but looking out 15 years where this could potentially be going if we keep moving in this direction, I think Tesla, no company out there is going to have the potential that Tesla has. Uh, Tom, so an investment in Tesla is at the same time investing in energy, or at least a portion of it. Absolutely. And think about the energy sector that's out there: oil, electricity, gas, all of that stuff. That now can become something that you're invested in through just Tesla. So imagine if you were investing in, for lack of a better option, like a GM and a Ford, and you were investing in Saudi Aramco, and you were investing in Apple, and you were investing in electric companies. All of that together is Tesla. So you're investing in all of that, but the future of all of that is what you're investing in realistically. Melissa, wow, so glad you said that. Totally believe in the universe karma. We are on a path, and you have to follow where it leads. We meet who we meet for a reason. Absolutely. I'm a firm believer of not so much everything happens for a reason. I don't think to go a little philosophical here for you guys. I don't think that we have our lives predetermined in front of us. I think our lives are very much like a choose your own adventure type book. For any of you guys who have read that, I loved those as a kid. It is We are constantly presented with opportunities, and we either say yes or no to those opportunities. By saying yes or no to an opportunity, it's going to present us with a different path to then present us with different opportunities. So, for instance, some people go down a bad path. Maybe they had an opportunity to try a drug. They go there, they tried that drug. Ooh, that drug did something for them. Then they had another opportunity. They said, ooh, I can stop doing the drug, or I could do more of it. Some people do more of it. That ends up taking you down a dark tunnel that a lot of people don't want to go down, but unfortunately some do. Maybe you're presented with a job opportunity. Hey, this job opportunity is a place that could take me to a better, give me better opportunities. You say yes to that opportunity. Awesome. Now you've moved up. Hey, I can maybe take another job opportunity, or I've met some other people. Ooh, this other opportunity has opened up for me. I think that's really, to me, how life operates. And you can always go in both directions. Maybe you've moved up a lot and then maybe you made a bad decision and it took you down another path in another direction. Constantly making these decisions that are giving you these opportunities along the way, and the more good decisions you make in a row will keep on moving you. And that's kind of how we get that momentum going in our lives. Is we get that momentum moving and we keep on saying yes to better opportunities and trying new things and pushing ourselves, and that's going to make us even better. Not financial advice, Tesla knowledge, and now being a good human advice. This is a great channel. Thanks, Tim. You're welcome, honey. I appreciate that. I mean, honestly, just yeah. Yeah, this is the great tagline. Be a good human. Tesla tagline. That's it. Just be a good human. Maybe I'm gonna make that. So I have my website. My tagline is invest in life for life. Maybe I should just make that. Just be a good human. I'm gonna make that my new shirt. I'm totally making that. I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna let my marketing manager know. Be a good human is going to be my next merch shirt. I will have that made, and I will let you guys know as soon as it's made up, because I love that. Married, have kids? No, I have one child. I have a son. He is 16. And ironically, he's starting to learn how to drive. So I was comparing his driving to FSD, and it was pretty darn similar. Currently, I am single, totally all by my lonesome. I'm just doing my thing. If I meet a woman along the way, that'd be awesome. So be it. Be a good human. Brought to you by Oracle Investments and X Corp. I like that. I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, Lang, truly. Just agree, life principle. Help others without expecting returns. Just do your thing. Do your thing. Be good. I will buy a coffee mug, be a good human. Coffee mugs are an option also. So, on that note, we've been on here for an hour. You guys have been awesome tonight, and I'm going to end on us all being good humans. And I encourage you guys all to go out there, be good humans. It's going to be awesome. And marketing manager, can I have 3 black be good human hoodies? They're coming. I'm actually going to get off the live stream right now. I'm going to message him right now. I'm going to send it over to him. I'm going to have these made up for you guys this week. I will get them out there, and as soon as they're up, I will order one and I will share them with you guys. And we'll get this out there and just spread the love with everybody else in the world. Be a good human. So that is it for you guys. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow night. I will have a video out, and then next live stream will be Friday night. This Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time.